What's up? Where have I been? I've been here, there, and everywhere. Um, as none of you know, the reason I've been gone for so long is because I've not necessarily moved on to like greener pastures, but I've started new ventures. Hence, that right there. You'll start seeing more of that, and I'll go over it later. I got something in my beard. But yeah, I'm still here, still around, still doing things, just doing them behind the scenes, preparing for the future things to come along. But I figured today would be a good day to like go over some of the stuff I'm doing right now. So if you look out here, that is still here, and I parked the other one down the road, but the vet is down the road somewhere. Today, I gotta do maintenance. So I've been working out of town, and maintenance has been lacking. So this bad girl here needs air filter, fuel filter, and oil change. And I think we're gonna go ahead and get some new tires for it because she had a flat on one of them. So we had that one tire replaced, but I think we're gonna go ahead and replace all of them because the tires we got, they have really bad wear pattern on them, and I'm not really liking it. But yeah, check this out. And it's not from alignment because we had an alignment shop. Check the truck. I don't know if you can get that. But it's like peeling the tires. There, see, good tread. But just on the edges for whatever reason. And I thought maybe the tires were like underinflated, but they're not. So yeah. But tires have always been an issue on this Yukon for some reason. Even the factories, they only went like 20,000 miles. They didn't make it very far. So, yeah, we're going to get those things addressed in case we need to bug out due to all the fires and stuff going on in the area. I don't want to be trying to, like, have the family get out of town or something and the cars broke down. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to mess up my really nice shirt, is I'm going to change. And then I'm going to start with the oil change and everything. So I'll see you guys in a few moments for me, but a second for you. And just like that, I'm back. So I put on some throwaway clothes because I don't mind these getting all dirty. And first thing I'm going to do is, oh wow, I just noticed something really gross on here. So this truck mostly parks outside, and there are, from what I'm seeing, rat poop. Or a mouse or something, you know, because they like to climb into the motor for the warmth. And yeah, so I'm going to vacuum that up because I don't like touching it. Then I'm going to like disinfect around it. Even though I'm going to wear gloves doing most of this stuff, I just don't like touching any of that stuff. And then I'm going to go show my wife to freak her out because she doesn't believe me that mice will get into your vehicle from any direction and just destroy the wiring harness. Now the reason they go for the wiring harness, and this is a known thing, especially with GMs, because I firsthand experienced it, is the wiring harness and everything, the coating on the wire is made from soy. And you know, rodents are scavengers, and they look at that as a food source. So they'll come in your car and literally destroy the wiring harness, make their way into the vehicle, find food crumbs, find all kinds of stuff, and just destroy your vehicle. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and keep it pushing. So yeah, now that that's done, before you start an oil change, first thing you should do is open your hood and take this cap off right here. And what that does, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, is by opening the top here, it releases all the pressure and it lets the oil kind of flow down to the bottom of the oil and, you know, make its way out of there, because basically when you have that top on there, it's like a sealed container. So when you open it, give it about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes before you start your oil change, and it'll kind of make like getting all the oil out like one quick shot. On this truck in particular, it takes Dexos D 020 weight. I don't want to tell you guys wrong, but it's this right here. 0 weight 20 oil. And when you're doing it with these, you have to use Dexos D. Dexos D and Dexo 1 are not the same. I couldn't tell you what the differences are, but they are definitely different. Not that it would really do any super harmful damage to your vehicle. You just want to go with the manufacturer's recommended stuff, because you don't want to have those issues down the line. You're not going to find a price difference between this and the Dexos ones. They're like $1 difference maybe, but yeah, just get the right stuff that your vehicle's calling for. And yeah, I'm gonna let that breathe for a little bit, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to add DEF to the vehicle, because this vehicle seriously needs it. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with all that, but yeah, DEF it is. Okay, that's done, and what you saw at the end while I was wiping off the paint and all that stuff is when you're pouring the DEF, the first jug will always go in just fine, especially if your DEF tank is low. When you put your second one in, if you pour it too fast, it'll splatter back out. So what you have to do is, once you get it all in, you have to clean it off like immediately, because if you don't, it'll crystallize on the paint. It wreaks havoc on everything. So DEF is done. I'm gonna give it a little bit more time for the oil to kind of settle down. Plus I gotta go get like the drain pan for the oil and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna start on the fuel filter, because that thing's a pain in the butt. But I bought her fuel filters in bulk years ago, and I forgot about it. But I wrote down here, fuel filter for Yukon, so that way I would not forget. So let me get that thing. Oh yeah, here's the one I was going to do, and look how brand new that is. So I'm going to show you when I take the old one out how bad the old one is, because I think the last time I changed a fuel filter was around 18,000 miles ago. So yeah, give me a second to set up for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I will say that it is worth noting that before you do any work under your car, make sure the emergency brake is set. And then also what I do is, if you notice the big gap right there, I set the truck in off-road mode, and I put it on the highest ground clearance available. So let's get up under here. Your fuel filter is right here. You have to get a 36 millimeter socket and then take that off. I have my drain pan or my oil catch pan here to catch any of the fluid that drips off, because I don't want to get it all over the floor. But yeah, I'm not gonna well, I mean, I guess I could, but now you know what, it's more trouble than it's worth. I'm going to just get this apart, get it taken care of, and I'll show you the before and after on the fuel filter. Or you already saw the before, which is right there. I'm just gonna go in there, so catch you in a little bit. So this right here is about 18,000 miles of use, and if you look close here, that's the, come on, focus. Where's the rock when you need them? Anyway, if you look real close right here, you could see all the like crap that is in our fuels. Your fuel filter should not look like this after 18,000 miles. It should be relatively clean, which goes to tell you about the poor fuel quality we get here in America. As crazy as it sounds, the best diesel I've found so far is Mexico. Yeah, don't know why, but theirs just seems to work way better. My truck loves it, and it just idles better. Just overall better. But anyway, I'm going to clean this bowl out, and yeah, get that back in there. But other than that, like, if you made it this far, you already know, or you've already seen or know how to change out a fuel filter on a vehicle. There is a cool priming process recirculate the system. I'll show you that once I get the new filter in. Okay, so I've just primed it just to make sure I was doing it right, but when you go to reset your fuel filter, or prime it, I should say, all you want to do is come in here, hit the start button, and you want to do that for about a minute or so. Let the truck do its thing. Then after a minute, shut it off, and then come back in after 30 seconds and start it again. The vehicle will start, and then on your screen up here, everything's unavailable because I have the truck in like off-road mode. But anyway, go here to where it says reset, hit yes. But normally when you do it, that's going to stay at whatever it is. The way you get it to stay 100% is by turning the truck off, and then when you turn it back on, it does a system reset, because it looks at it as an event. After you do that, just again, everything's unavailable because I got the truck in 4 low and in the highest suspension setting. After you do all that, this should reset to 100%. So that's that. Now I'm avoiding the oil change part for obvious reasons, because God, that part really sucks. But I was looking at her truck, and it looks like her air filter, oh, actually it doesn't look that bad. It's under here. This box has to come off. And honestly, her air filter was serviced about, I don't know, maybe, I don't know when her last oil change was, because she did that at the dealership, but the air filter was changed. But this is the new air filter. And like I said, I just wanted to run through and make sure like as much of this stuff was done. That way, you know, if she wants to go somewhere, or in case, again, we have to bug out with all the fires that are going on, that everything for the primary vehicle is good to go. So it looks like for this entire thing right here, it's just a Phillips screwdriver. And so far for a one-handed operation, that's not that bad. I do need to go grab a bigger Phillips because this point is too small. So, in my huge assortment of screwdrivers, this one looks like it will do the trick. It's a fat boy. We'll come through. Oh yeah, much better. That thing is just zipping right off. So that comes out. That goes there so I don't forget it. I don't see any more. Oh, I see one in the back. Man, if I find out you're an engineer for GM, I'm gonna punch you square in the throat. Like, y'all put some of these nuts and bolts and stuff in just some of the most randomest places. You know what I think we should go back to? Like, modern motors and everything, right? Modern engines for vehicles, but simplify it to where when people work on it, and I know, oh, you want to send it to the dealership to get worked on, but even then, help the techs out, you know? Like, make this stuff a little more accessible, because I'll tell you now, some of these bolts are in some really crappy spots. So far, I found bolt number 3 down here. And the reason I'm not using a power tool is because you really shouldn't on stuff like this. As much as you want to. And you want to just run through it. You shouldn't. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying you shouldn't. So I've only found 3 bolts in here. And this is coming out way easier than the Corvette. Like, way easier. Oh, and I hate to say it, but here's the filter, and it looks really good. but I'm gonna pull it out anyway. Let's see if I can set this down right here. I'm gonna pull it out anyway and get a look at it, because just because one side looks good doesn't mean the entire thing is good. In this case, the entire thing is good. So what I'm going to do, the pleats look really good. So here's another thing, a fun fact about these air filters. This glue right here, these interior pleats are not designed to be ripped apart right there. They don't put glue all the way to the edge, so what you do is you can look in there and look for debris, stuff that doesn't really belong. So on the edges, you see how clean it is, and you know not to go digging too much in there. I kind of ripped that one, but it's okay. But that's what those are for. So I'm going to leave her car at 70-something% for the fuel filter or the air filter. I'm going to save this for a rainy day, and I'm going to put that one back in and move on to the next part. Okay, now I'm doing the part that I didn't, or that I least enjoy doing, the oil change. So, put you a jack stand, get the car up a little bit, because for me, I've gotten a little fat. So I can't really just crawl up under here like I used to. So I got my jack here, I got a jack stand behind there, and then I got a wheel chock, just in case something doesn't go right. But here's the socket for the oil. There's your filter. I'm not going to go over like how to do an oil change. I think it's pretty like standard. Like you should know how to do it. If not, like just YouTube it. It's really simple. But I'm going to take the oil out of here. I'm going to let it drain. Oh, one thing you should do, since I have the car up on a jack, I'm going to get everything apart, let the oil drain, but then I'm going to let the car back down level so it can just drain as much as possible. And then when you let it drain for a while till you just see no more drips coming out, and you should be good. Also, another thing that helps is if you drive the car beforehand, heat the oil up, and then like I said, that just kind of loosens things up to make it like drain a little bit better and a little faster. So I'm gonna get this done, and then we'll go from there. Wish me luck. So like I said, remember, your manufacturer says to use 0 weight 20. What does the 20 stand for? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, it takes 6.9 quarts. You know what? I don't want to be that guy that I always am. And I will spill it. So, I'll use my tool. I just gotta remember how I did this before. I gotta pull that out. And I set that in there. And the cool thing with this one is this kind of has like an off-on on it. Let me clean my hands real quick so I can explain it better. Yeah, you dump your oil in here, and then you literally turn this, and then the oil will flow out. So like right now, I think it's in the closed position. I can pour all my oil in here. That's crazy. It's like so green. That should be 1 quart, and that came exactly to the 1 quart line. And then from here, you turn this, and it perfectly lets the oil in, so you don't spill it everywhere. I have a camera person now, so this is a little bit easier. And I still manage to spill with a camera person, but that little bit won't make a difference. So my wife said the coolest thing, and she says 6.9 quarts have to go in here. And she's like, why couldn't they just make it 7? And that was a good question for the engineers, because I was just, complaining about them with their crappy bolt locations and stuff. But why wouldn't you just make it 7 quarts? Like, what is that, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch of oil pan capacity? Like, come on. Like, make life easy. Your text would thank you. So I have to do this 6.9 times. So now that that's done, the oil change is done, but we're not done yet. There's the dirty oil, and if you see how green that oil that went in was and how dark this oil is. But the other thing is with the diesel engine, the oil's going to turn really dark regardless. So what I'm going to do now is fire this thing back up. I'm going to take it out of 4 low and get it back to its normal ride height. So maybe the transmission and engine light and all the other Christmas tree lights don't pop up. Kind of want to just do the same thing earlier that I did, where I let the engine kind of prime itself. And then let's give it a start. So it's going to have all these lights on again because the truck still thinks it's in forward high, or forward low, I mean. So what I'm going to do is engage the truck into drive, because you can't go straight to neutral from there. I'm going to put that into neutral, and you come back over here and we do 2 high. You'll see the 2 high flashing and all that, and then while I'm also there, I go to here and I put it on normal ground clearance. So that way the ride height will go back to where it normally goes. And then normally that check engine light is new, so I'm hoping it kind of just clears itself out, especially now that it's in 2-wheel drive and it's not doing anything weird. I'll do a little reverse just to make sure. Oh yeah, I got the park brake on. And I did remove the wheel chuck, so a little reverse action. So, and then there was a recall for this thing. Gotta love that camera on the truck. Like, man, it is pretty good. But there was a recall on this truck for the transmission. But I think it was a computer thing issue, not anything else. Definitely need to do the brakes on here. Actually, we did the brakes. No, we gotta do the brakes. Which I'm not doing that. Somebody else will. I don't want that type of liability. But anyway, same thing here. You're gonna go to reset, and then as you notice, I reset it, so I'll do it slower. So go there, click over, click yes. Okay, that is freaking weird. On the fuel filter, you have to turn the truck off. On the oil, you can just reset it. And then, of course, while the truck's running, you climb up under it just to make sure that you torqued everything correctly and there's nothing leaking. And as you see, nothing's leaking, and I did get all my tools. That air compressor tank is very tiny. But yeah, nothing leaking. Oil changed. I'll probably give that check engine light a day or so, see if it clears itself out, because again, I don't know what it could be. It could be like I started the truck with the oil cap not on, and it'll show a drop in pressure when you do that, but it doesn't hurt anything, it just shows a drop. But yeah, so to recap, I changed the fuel filter, oil filter, the oil, did not change the air filter, but I did check it. I added DEF. We're about to go get new tires, and oh, I need to recycle my oil. So all that oil there gets poured into all the little containers that I use to change the oil with, and then that 0.9 is going to go into one of those DEF bottles or DEF canisters that I use to fill the truck with DEF, and then it gets sent off to recycling because I have no use for it. It's not like I live in one of those older houses that has like an oil heater or anything. Like, I have no use for the old oil at all. But yeah, essentially that is me doing some preventive maintenance on my wife's car to make sure it's ready for whatever. This thing is, I guess I can take this off the window because we're not going to be going off of that. So, me personally, on a vehicle, you should change the oil about every 5,000 miles. I know you can go 10, on with the newer style oil and stuff like that. But I look at it like this: oil is cheap insurance, and a motor is not cheap. Yeah, like on my R8, I'll always have someone change that oil because there's like 17 drain plugs. There's a lot going on. I don't have the tools or equipment to lift the car in the air and do it properly, so I'll have someone do that. The Corvette, that oil was surprisingly easy to change. The air filter on that, not so much, but this Yukon's probably been the easiest to change. I do have to do an oil change on my truck, which again on my truck's not that bad. The thing I'm not looking forward to doing on that truck is going to be the fuel filter, because I'm supposed to remove the front right tire and the wheel liner to access it, but I'm going to see if I can get to it from the airbox. If not, no big deal. I'll just take the tire off and do it. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you guys to death. I am going to go pour this oil out, get it ready for disposal, and start working on my truck. I will try, not promise, I will try to do more YouTube videos. But again, you know, we started a business and life kind of like took off from there. So we have a lot of things that are occupying a lot of our time. Even though like just putting up a vlogging video, letting you guys know what's going on, is something I could do. I just haven't been doing it, and I apologize. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one.